Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat. Today we're going to be talking about Timo Werner and how he's going to get on at Tottenham. So obviously, it's been announced this week, not by the club yet, but by Fabrizio Romano, so he's pretty much gospel, that Timo Werner will join Tottenham on a 6-month loan. What was your initial reaction to this, Harry? Frustration as a Chelsea fan or exciting to see him back in the Premier League?
Yeah, from a Chelsea point of view, very disappointed. I personally really like Timo Werner. I think there's a very, very good footballer there. It didn't work out for him at Chelsea. From a neutral point of view, I think he's going to I think he'll be exciting. Back in the Premier League with a Tottenham side who, on their day, play some really nice football.
Yeah.
He kind of fits into their team pretty nicely. So, for him, I think it's a great move. But from a Chelsea point of view, I'm very sad.
Yeah, he definitely suits their team. Tottenham this season are one of the quickest attacks in the Premier League. They move the ball very quickly from back to front. And I think he's going to suit that play style very, very well because he's a very fast player. He's great in behind if he can stay on side. But he times that really nice. And I actually think in a Tottenham system where he's going to have... At Chelsea, the biggest problem was that nobody could create a chance. But you're going to have James Maddison once he's fit. Yeah. You're going to have Dejan Kulusevski at the moment in there. Or once James Maddison's fit, he'll have him out on the right-hand side. He's going to have Brennan Johnson in there, Son Heung-min. Loads of players that can create chances for him. Even Richarlison might pass it to him. Or just miss, which could be a chance of Werner. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of chances, and I actually think he will get a higher XG. I know he underperformed his XG at Chelsea. A lot of that was due to the pressure on him, and for whatever reason, he couldn't handle that, and he couldn't handle he couldn't score, basically, was his biggest issue. But a lot of that was because he couldn't stay on side. I think at Tottenham, under Ange Postecoglou and in the Ange Postecoglou system, I think it will be a lot more suited to that. Actually, what he adds is someone with blisteringly, I don't know how to say that word, but he's really quick. Blisteringly fast pace. And he's really good. No, he's fast in behind. He's also a good finisher. And that's one of the things that often seems to be forgotten when talking about Timo Werner, because at Chelsea, it was perceived that he couldn't finish. And actually, for a period of time, he couldn't. But he can. We've seen that at RB Leipzig. We saw it before that at Stuttgart. He is a very good player, but yeah, I think a lot of people will judge him based on his time at Chelsea and then be surprised when he performs at Tottenham, forgetting that he has had a career outside of the Premier League and he has done well. If he performs like he does for RB Leipzig, especially in his first spell before he joined Chelsea, he'll perform very, very well for Tottenham. So I think on a 6-month loan deal, there's not a lot of risk attached. I think it's a good deal for Tottenham. So what else do you think he adds?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's the thing, as you say, when he joined Chelsea, very excited. But the problem was he was under pressure week in, week out, starting through the middle as the number 9. And as any Chelsea player who has played up front since like Didier Drogba and Diego Costa would have worked out, it's not easy. Playing, because automatically there's pressure on him.
No striker has. I don't think, if you look at everyone that moves from the Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga to the Premier League, they don't perform. You could look at countless examples. Even at Tottenham, you could turn to as a Roberto Soldado for an example. Yeah. There's one in every single team. And that's because it is difficult to make that adjustment. Now, the advantage of Werner moving now to Tottenham is, one, he's a more mature player and an older player, so that helps him in that regard. But two, he's not the starting striker. At Chelsea, he was expected to come in and immediately start, and he played pretty much every game. I know Tammy Abraham was there, but it wasn't like learning from an experienced veteran. But at Tottenham, you'd expect him to be second fiddle behind Son once he's back. I know he's going to play the first month, but even then it could be Richarlison through the middle and him out wide. So there's going to be a bit of rotation there. I think he'll be eased in. And that's what Timo Werner needs. Chance to get involved with the squad, learn Ange Postecoglou's system, and then perform. I also think Timo Werner on the left wing could be really, really dangerous there.
He was relied on too much at Chelsea. And again, it all comes back to the pressure. The pressure's off at Tottenham. With Chelsea, he was one of the first chances after the embargo. After the season where we played
I think it was
children.
The first.
Yes, exactly.
First one of the window.
From a Chelsea point of view, a lot of pressure on him because he was our first signing in a year. And at Tottenham, as you said, and he was relied on. He was relied on for Chelsea to score goals. He didn't do it. Pressure on him, gone. Tottenham, he's not relied on because they've got Son and Maddison and Richarlison and Kulusevski. Werner on. On side, hopefully for him. He's just got, if he can time that run, link up with Son and that, he'll rotate in with Richarlison on that left-hand side. You can play him through the middle and swap that round a bit if you need to in there. And that's the thing. He does offer you a little bit of versatility.
The thing with his offsides and onside statistics, and Paul Merson was talking about this, but I don't think he actually got to the actual point. And the reason it's going to be different here at Tottenham. So he was speaking about... Yeah, I know that was a weird clip and don't really know what happened there. But for the start, he made a good point. Obviously, he was offside too often at Chelsea. But all he said was that he needs to work on that. He doesn't need to be on the shoulder of the last defender. The key difference in this system is a difference in system. Chelsea played a very possession-based, under Frank Lampard, a very possession-based game. Very similar to Arteta or Pep Guardiola or Vincent Kompany, where it's very slow in the attacking third, meaning the chances are created but once you're already in that final third, picking out a pass which requires a great bit of movement from your forwards. That's not what Timo Werner's good at. What Werner's very good at is having the ball deep, and then they resist the pressure, play it quickly, and counter-attack. Where he's then got from the halfway line to the goal to use his pace to have the advantage. And that's where he's best. When that ball comes over the top, Vicario's a great kicker. We know he's great with distribution. Right over the top of the defence, Werner's in. And in that situation, the one-on-one, provided he's full of confidence, and his confidence hasn't been shot to bits by this point, he will score. And he's a very, very good player.
It's a loan. There's no pressure on it. It doesn't work out. He goes back to Leipzig, scores 20 goals. Everyone forgets the loan happens.
Yeah.
So for Werner... brilliant. For Tottenham, brilliant.
I think it's a win-win for everyone involved. For Leipzig, well, yes.
So many forwards over there.
I was going to say, yes, they're going to miss out on Timo Werner, but they'll probably just play one of their other strikers. For Timo Werner, it's a chance to come back to the Premier League and actually earn himself a permanent move in the Premier League again to Tottenham. And for Tottenham, well, they solved the Son problem. They won't have Son now until mid-February, we expect, depending on how far Korea get, but they are favourites to go all the way in the Asian Cup. So... yeah, he's going to get a good run of game time. He's going to get some minutes. And for Tottenham, well, they'll have someone to replace Son for a little while. Where do you expect him to start? Because there is going to be a bit of contention here. Because Richarlison can play through the middle or out wide. Werner can play through the middle or out wide. Until Son gets back, where do you expect Timo to fit in?
Until Son gets back, just because of Richarlison's joy that he's been getting on the left-hand side, scoring a few goals, we'll probably see Werner through the middle. Would be my best guess. When Son comes back in... depending on how Werner does, you're probably looking at benching Richarlison, putting Werner out on the left and playing Son for the middle.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Ange does exactly what he did with Richarlison, playing him on that left-hand side to grow that confidence, and then potentially moving him to the middle later in the season, and having Richarlison through the middle now.
Either way, I think between Richarlison and Werner, whoever starts up front will do worse in that period.
Interesting.
Just because I think tucking Werner straight in the middle is risky. Richarlison, I don't know what it is, when he plays through the middle, he's crap. Does chicken dance.
You know what? Having Werner on the left and Richarlison through the middle could suit everyone perfectly. Because if Werner can beat the fullback, as soon as he's past him, he's gone. Because there's only one fullback in the league that keeps up with him, and that's Kyle Walker. And Tottenham will win that game anyway because it's City. And that comes later in the season. So Son will be back by then. But for Werner, any other fullback, he minces them.
Yeah.
So all he's got to do is beat him, and then he's down, and then he's gone. And then it's just a simple matter of either finishing it or squaring it. And even if he shoots across goalkeeper and it's saved, it could just fall for Richarlison. Yeah. It's exactly what Richarlison needs at the moment. Things just to fall in his lap.
I don't know what it is. I feel like this will work for Werner. I don't know if it's because I really do like him. I think he's a nice bloke and a really good footballer. And I want it to work for him.
He always has seemed like a really genuinely nice guy.
And I don't like the fact that he used to get clowned at Chelsea, because I think if we'd given him time, he'd have worked. Look at Chelsea now. We've given like Mudryk and Madueke time, and they're starting to come into their own. If we'd done the same with Werner, who knows what could happen to him? But
he's a player that needed nurturing in that moment. What he needed was to go into an environment where he wasn't the main striker, the only striker.
Than a big, friendly Australian man.
Exactly. And a Tottenham side who are playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of belief at the moment. And once Son's back, he will be an understudy, which is exactly what Werner needs to thrive in the Premier League. So I think it suits him really nicely. The one thing I've not missed is people mispronouncing his name. So hopefully we can all get it right this time. It's not Werner. But I remember distinctly that clip where it was a Chelsea Open training session at the start of the 21-22 season, I believe. After we'd won the Champions League, I think. It was after we won the Champions League that summer. And there we had that. There was that one bloke who just decided to shout, "Get Werner out of my club," and everyone else then shouted at him to shut up, rightfully so. But the thing that annoyed me most about that video wasn't his sentiment. It was the fact he mispronounced the name. But Yeah, I think that's the only thing I've missed. Hopefully, we can all get it right with Timo
I
Werner.
think it's going to work for Werner.
Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it does.
Timo.
I don't like Tottenham, obviously, so I hope they lose. But I hope for Timo's sake, he does well.
Score 3 every game. Werner scores that trick.
He breaks the record for Premier League hat tricks.
Buying back for like ridiculous amount of money.
We'd drop by him from Leipzig, wouldn't we?
Yeah, still for a ridiculous amount of money. Even more.
But yeah, not sure yet whether there is an option to buy in this deal. You would expect if Tottenham being shrewd there is. If not, what on earth is the point?
Yeah.
But other than the fact he will fill that gap left by Son. But yeah, you'd expect there to be that in there. We haven't seen the fine details yet as the deal hasn't been announced officially yet.
Sure, Romano get onto
it. But Fabrizio has said it's done. So
we'll
in that regard, it's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think he'll do well. I think it's a good coup for Tottenham, and I can only see it working out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be everything. Feel free to get your thoughts in the comments below, because I feel like this is going to be a divisive one. Yeah. Timo, he's not too popular with fans outside of Chelsea. A lot of people, not too popular. I don't think popularity is the right way to put it, but a lot of people like to clown him back then, and it's the same thing as we see now with various players.
I hate it.
And he gets the same sort of stick that Nick Jackson's getting, despite the fact that Nicholas Jackson's got 8 goals in the Premier League. I know he got 3 against Tottenham, but that doesn't change the simple fact he scored 8 goals this season. He's only, I think he's like, 4 behind Dom Solanke, yet people want to spend 50 mil to bring in Solanke.
That's a different point, but I'm not the guy who says you can't comment because if that was you, you'd do the.
That's stupid. Because then there's no commentators anymore. Because fuck them off, they weren't good enough.
If a footballer does something completely shite, then yeah, same off for it. But for people like Jackson and Werner and Nunez, who are you can tell are trying to get goals, and on their day they're even Højlund,
but also, they are playing well. That's the thing people don't realise. It is just that they haven't scored because the pressure's on them. But people don't give people time.
Crap. But for Chelsea,
and given the fact he came in with expectation, he wasn't a young striker coming in, Gonzalo Higuain. It's this culture now from rival fans, which is understandable because they're rivals. They want to clown other teams of just being, horrible by players. But
I think it's going to work for Timo. Hope it does.
Yeah, I hope for his sake it does, because he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And this Tottenham team has a good feeling about it. But yeah, hopefully they still lose and Werner gets hat-tricks.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's everything for this week. As I say, it's going to be divisive, I'm sure, in the comment section. There's going to be people expecting nothing from Werner. There's going to be people expecting the world from Timo Werner. We're in that world camp. But yeah, I think for me, I hope he does really well. Yeah. And yeah, feel free to get your views in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe as well if you're new around here, or if you've just haven't subscribed yet, then what are you doing? Hit that big red button. It massively helps us out more than you can imagine. And make sure to leave a like and all the good stuff that is in the under below this video. Click it all, see what happens. That's everything though from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we will see you next time.
See ya.